Hi, everybody. Welcome to Habitat Demos for Friday, December 1st. It's going to be a short one today. We have one demo for you, but it's going to be a good one. So Matt's going to demo Windows Docker export. Take it away, Matt.
All right. So let me share my screen. Share here. All right. So one thing that we released yesterday is the ability to export Windows containers. So just to the Docker format. So just like you can with Linux, you can run hab package export. So I've already done that because it takes longer with if I'm screen sharing on Hangout. So I've as a courtesy, I've done that beforehand. So I had package export Docker, and here is this is a Windows package, so I'm on Windows. So what you need to actually make this happen, so you need to be on Windows, and you need to have Docker's Community Edition for Windows running, and that needs to be running just like we talked about with the Windows Docker-based Studio a couple weeks ago. You need to be running in Windows container mode. So basically, if I go to my Docker settings, so right-click there, I can toggle back and forth between Linux and Windows containers. It's this one. So make sure if this says on your system switch to Windows computers or Windows containers, click on that, and then you can do this just like I did. So if we detect that you're running in Windows mode, we'll go ahead and build for you a Windows container. And so this created an image with the Habitat supervisor along with this actual package, which in this case is an ASP.NET sample application, and all of its dependencies. So the .NET runtime and all that get included in this image. So right now I have running, let's see what I have running. I have Docker PS. I have two containers running. I have a Windows Studio running, and I have MySQL. So I've already exported the Windows Core MySQL package, and that is running. So I have a database up because this application needs to talk to a database. So let's go ahead and start this application. So I'm going to do a Docker run. I'm going to expose port 8090 because that's the port that its web server is going to listen to. Here's my package. I'm going to bind to the database, which is running on this IP. So this is the IP address of this container, the core MySQL container. So the supervisor this starts as is going to peer up with that one. Now, as we discussed with the Windows Studio container, the same thing applies here. The startup time is a little bit more than a Linux container, because what happens on Windows, especially and by default in Windows 10, which is what I'm on, these containers run in what's called Hyper-V isolation mode. So basically what happens is it's not sharing my kernel. It's actually starting up a super minimal VM that it runs inside of. Now, if I was on Windows Server 2016, I could run this outside of Hyper-V. I could run it in what's called just Windows Server containers, where it would actually share my kernel. Then one of the advantages of that Hyper-V isolation is you get true isolation. So there's no security leakage across containers. But at any rate, we can see now it's started. If I go to another terminal, I'll do a Docker PS, and we can take a look at that. We should be able to see it. So yeah, so now I have my third container, core Habitat ASP.NET sample. I'll refresh this. Now, one thing to be aware of, this is a Windows container specific thing, is that they don't do loopback. So I can't say localhost. So I published 8090. This is the IP address of my machine. So what you have to do, and this is going to change, by the way. So they're going to work on this and get that fixed up eventually. But right now, you have to either put in your own machine IP address, like the real network adapter IP address, not the loopback adapter, or the IP address of the actual container itself. Okay, so it ran. So this is the application. And just to show that it can actually talk to the database, I'm going to create a new message. This is a an amazing application that it basically collects and stores strings. Something that I think is going to be really going to catch on. So
to-do list.
yeah. That's the beauty of it, right? Like you can make it anything, like any string can do it. It's thoroughly adaptable. It's amazing. So so at any rate, that's running in a container, containers talking to each other on Windows. That's it.
All right, man. That is awesome. It is so cool how seamless it is. You can run Linux on Windows, and it's all the same with Hab. It's pretty awesome. All right, that's it for today. Unless there's any walk-ons, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.